So I was just going through my book and I saw this old behavior patterns list. I did a video about this, but I want to put it out again because I noticed that maybe I should keep making videos about old behavior patterns, because you have to be aware of them in order to change them. And I do notice that people repeat their behavior patterns. I did for a little bit, and then I started to notice, hey man, I got some behavior patterns, I got to stop them, because if you don't stop these old behavior patterns, you're just going to keep running the old program. And we don't want to run the old program of sickness, because that old program of sickness is a survival alarm state. And we program that survival alarm state over the years of bullshit that we've been through, right? Life threw us curveballs. We've been carrying these 747, these massive loads that filled up our bucket. Something's got to give. The body keeps the score. You get illness, you get sick, your body's overwhelmed, right? You have your body's buffering, right? You have too many pictures on your cell phone, it's not working properly. That's how we are. And you know, it could be bad relationships, toxic relationships. You were with a narcissist, or your work environment was toxic. It was, you were overworked. You hated your boss. Your coworkers were backstabbers. It was always drama at work, drama at home. Maybe you had trauma as a child. Somebody passed away that was really close to you. Anything that affects you negatively, mentally or physically, adds to your bucket, puts your baseline at a survival state at 1,000, when it's supposed to be at a 0 after it sees the tiger run, or you kill the tiger. It's supposed to come back down to 0. But what happens when we're in a constant survival state, like having a tiger hanging around on your back for 4 years? It's going to be hardwired there permanently. And this is where it's stuck. And when a survival state, right, when your baseline's at 1,000 and it's hardwired there, it has to send alarms to you, right? And these alarms come in the form of symptoms, uncomfortable feelings, thoughts, anxiety, right? Panic attacks, OCD looping thoughts. It's doing its job because it's been trained over the years to be an alarm state. So now that the coast is clear, there's no tigers anywhere. You're at the beach, you're at Costa Rica, you live there now, everything's calm. You're not around anything that's dangerous anymore, but the brain is still holding that old program of danger. Okay, so when that happens, we have habits of adapting to danger we're not aware of. We live our lives according to a danger program. So an alarm says this, and we react accordingly with avoidance behaviors, thoughts, feelings, core beliefs, right? This is the good stuff. This is the stuff that we have to be aware of. And you create your reality around this alarm. So let's say this is a ball, a glowing fireball that's screaming danger. You're going to change your life around this ball and your beliefs about yourself, everything, right? It's a different reality. Now, if you recalibrate this into a program that brings the baseline down out of survival, you're living a totally different life. When that alarm gets dissolved and you're hearing nothing, you're able to explore life without having your brain, your survival brain, cock block you all the time, right? You won't have that background noise. You won't have these core beliefs hijacking you to go, no, you can't concentrate on that. You won't have difficulties, tapping into your higher self and consciousness, and being able to have a natural flow spiritually and manifest the things you want, being able to dial in that vibration that brings you the life that you want. You can't do that if you're in a programmed survival state and you create the reality around constant alarms. Beliefs are different. Compared to when you're regulated, there's peace, there's quiet. Now you can explore and really create your life. You can create the life that you prefer. And this is where you go, I like this, blah, 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 oh, look at it, blah, blah, blah. And you start to flourish. You create everything from inside out, right? It's like a mirror. Everything changes around you according to what you feel inside of yourself, right? You're thriving. You're healthy. You're thriving. You don't have chronic illnesses anymore. Your brain is quiet. You're finally able to do things you enjoy constantly and be happy and thrive. by changing the program. But the thing is, in order to do that, we got to first be aware of some things. So this video will be catching old behavior patterns, kind of like a recap, and how it matters, right? If you can't catch old behavior patterns, you'll never change. So do you do any of these? I'm sure 200% of you do this, and then you do probably more than 95% of this shit. So you're focusing on pain. That's huge, of course. You focus, right? You're paying attention. I'm going to put this, the first one that I notice is symptom talk. I like to have symptom talk on my podcast because, you know, it gets it out there. It's a fun topic. This is where people can, you know, people that are not aware of the mind-body space, they can get it out and they go, what about this? Blah, blah, blah. Did you deal with this? Blah, blah. It's a really good conversation to have. But other than that, if you're going through this recovery journey, you know what your path is, right? Other than talking about it here on my podcast, or you know, if you're starting to put that bubble around you, and you're just starting your journey, and you haven't exposed yourself to talking about symptoms, then it's probably best that you don't watch some of those videos where I talk about symptoms, because it could re-trigger yourself, and then, you know, you have a bunch of setbacks, and it's just too early, too much. It's overwhelming. So make sure, if I do have some of the podcasts, and if you're not ready for it, don't watch them until you are ready. But in the meantime, you know, don't have symptom talk. Because I know, and I did this in the beginning, all I did was talk about symptoms. And I wrote down all of my symptoms. I had over 70, probably 80, probably more than that, right? But 70 was more like the ones that made constant returns. So, and throughout my life, I was always dealing with symptoms, either 4 to 20, 25, and then a 70. So it was like, right? And then constantly. And then I had to change the programming consistently every day. And the way I responded correctly, right? Instead of resisting, stop, no, distract, count backwards, look at that tree and make sure you're focusing, being in the present moment to hide from my thoughts. That created resistance, which brought my baseline up. It brought my baseline up. And when your baseline goes up, it sends more alarms, right? And the point of an alarm is for them to be acknowledged to danger. If you ignore them, they grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and they get magnified, and that's all you see. Because its main priority is to keep you alive. It's going to do everything it can to do its job. And it's amazing. It's not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't have a mental illness. Right? This is an alarm program that is doing its job to keep you alive. And look, you're alive. You're watching this. You're alive. Look at this. It's doing its job. But you don't prefer the feelings that you're feeling. You don't like the program because it feels uncomfortable, because you have symptoms and, you know, you're suffering. Right? This sucks. Yes, it sucks. But you have a choice. You can reprogram that. You don't have to feel like this. You can have a different life that you prefer. So first things first, stop talking about symptoms. And I know sometimes you can't even recognize that you do it all the time. I did, and I said, you know what, fuck it, stop it. Fucking stop it. And I slipped a couple of times, but eventually I stopped that. I would go, oh, no symptom talk. We're not talking about symptoms. And it was such a routine to talk about symptoms with everybody. Like my mom, like, how are you feeling? What are you doing? What is going on? Well, I have this feel. I have my finger in my back, and I got this, my gut. I have this stabbing pain here, and it's like I can't poop, and I got bloody diarrhea, and I got this ear thing, and I feel weird. I feel like I can't. My brain fog. I can't think straight. I feel like my mind, like I'm not in the front seat of a car of my mind. I feel like I'm like here. It doesn't. I have weird sensations. Everything feels right constantly. Okay, what do you feel like today? Oh, I can't. I feel like my right side of my body is weaker. And what do you think it is, Elmond? Well, I think, right, your mom always wants to know how you're feeling because they want to get it out. They want to reassure you you're going to be fine. They want to tell you, it's exciting. There's nothing wrong with you. I told you. Stop thinking that you are sick, please. Right? So, but it was like an addiction. Symptom talk is like an addiction. This video might have to change the symptom talk. Because it's, you know, out of all the things of old behavior patterns, I'm going to give you a list. Symptom talk to me seems like the biggest one that you need to fucking stop. Just fucking stop it. Really, stop it. And when you're about to get into it, don't. Stop it. Right? When you have the people, the regular people that you like to talk to about symptoms, don't do it. Stop it. So, and I know it's hard to change that when your mom goes, so how are you feeling today? You look good. You look like you're okay. And you want to justify it. No, I want to tell you I'm not okay. No, I don't. I'm not allowed. I don't want you to think that I'm feeling okay today, so that you can start treating me normal. Because no. I need you to take this serious. I feel like shit, and you don't believe me, right? So you're always trying to build a case. You're always trying to prove a point, because people will, you know, family members will be like, "Oh, you'll be fine." Oh, okay. Oh, now you're okay. Here we go again. Oh, man, it's nothing. Oh, you know, they don't really put what you're feeling on a pedestal like you feel like shit, because you feel that. You feel like terror. You feel like traumatized. You feel like you're going to die every third second. And this is a real feeling. But when they look at you, they don't see it. So they don't really believe you. And they kind of dismiss what you're feeling. Well, on the outside, you look fine. You actually look good today. Wow, you look good. You're losing weight. Why do you think I'm losing weight? Because I can't eat all foods, because if I do, I'm going to be in the fucking toilet for 3 weeks with bloody diarrhea, all kinds of stuff. My blood pressure is going to go up and up and up and down, down, heart rate up and down, right? I'm going to have fucking skin issues, anxiety, panic attacks, OCD looping thoughts, traumatized fucking dreams, right? In the morning, crazy fucking anxiety, OCD looping thoughts about death constantly. But you think I look good, right? Believe me, I don't feel good. I don't look good. You're going to be excited. Oh, you're going to be, no, right? You're constantly trying to build a case to prove to them. You don't understand how I feel. I wish I could you could be in my fucking body to understand how I feel. I wish. So you can see, and I guarantee you would not last a fucking minute. And then you're just fluffing it off like, oh, right, like you don't believe me. So that's all you're doing. You're always trying to build a case because you want people to understand what you're going through. Because that's what we want. We want people to give us, you know, the acknowledgement. Like, yo, dude, I don't know how you do it. That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. That's crazy, man. And you're doing it. Hey, do you need any help? Do you want me to make you something to eat? You're going to recover. Even if, you know, the beginnings, people don't even believe that we're going to recover. So, you know, but I didn't want people to walk on eggshells and to praise me and go, oh, are you going to be okay? Like, I didn't want that. I just wanted people to go, hey, do you believe me now? This is hard. I'm going to recover. No, so support me in a way that pushes me to recovery, but don't dismiss my feelings. Right? And I think that's half of the reason why people want to talk about their symptoms, because they want to prove their case. They want to get it out also. For me, I wanted to get it out. I wanted to have like a team, like, yeah, and then, you know, I feel like this, yeah. Or if you talk to symptoms with somebody, people might get some ideas. Maybe like, well, you know, my friend had that once, you know, you should try, blah, blah, blah. You should try. This is when, you know, I was going down rabbit holes, and I wanted people to help me, give me ideas. What can I do? Eventually, I figured it out. It's the mind-body space. I got direction, you know, told me, go down this path and you'll figure it out, and you're going to recover. You're going to learn some shit. You're going to fall on your face. You're going to recover. You're going to help a lot of people. So this is a path. Yes. So all this other bullshit I could stop doing. I could get off all the Facebook groups. Finally, I could stop wasting my time and, you know, being exhausted with supplements, bullshit protocols, all the fucking naturopath bullshit. You know, all that stuff. I could just stop and just focus on the right path. And making my mistakes on the right path. You make mistakes. You adjust, you pivot, you learn, you train, fall on your face, learn some more, discover. So there's lots of reasons why we have symptom talk. And one of them is because it's an addiction. Because it's a pattern. And we repeat it. And any opportunity that you get, you want to talk about it. So somebody's always like, you know, it could be people at work, family members, friends, right? How often are you talking to people throughout the day, and even, dude, how you doing, man? Just checking up on you. How you feeling? How you feeling? People at work. So you okay to return to work? How you feeling? You gonna be okay? All right, if you need to talk to somebody, blah, 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 you know, even people on the internet, yo, I'm here for you. You need help, blah, blah, blah. How you feeling today? Well, and these are all opportunities, right, to talk about an old program that just promotes that you're in a dangerous situation. You're in danger. So turn on the alarms, right? That sends messages of danger constantly when you talk about symptoms to everybody. Everybody's asking you. Everybody wants to know. So you're always sending the message of danger over and over and over again, which all it does is reaffirms that program, which keeps the alarms on and keeps your bucket full and keeps you in a survival state, and the baseline's at 1,000. And it has to send more alarms then. And you're just stuck. It's a chronic cycle. Chronic cycle. Because you keep fucking talking about symptoms. And it's interesting. Eventually, I stopped doing it. I learned the behavior pattern. But now when I talk to people that are dealing with this shit, and I'll tell them, they go, yeah, oh my goodness, I never noticed that. Yeah, I got to stop doing that. Do you ever get it when... Let's talk about symptoms again, right? Oh, I had this symptom. I was walking down the street, and then blah, 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 blah. And, oh my God, I feel like this symptom, it felt like the symptom, I'm feeling like, oh my God, have you ever felt symptoms? Like most of the day is just talking about symptoms, Googling about symptoms, going down the rabbit holes of symptoms. If your life is, SYMPTOMS, like, I don't even know if I spelled it right there, right? It becomes a song that you're a part of, right? You're doing the SYMP something constantly. You got to stop because it's not helping you. All you're doing is reaffirming a danger program. Alarms stay on. You stay sick, right? And you'll always forever talk about symptoms. You're going to be like these elderly people in their 80s and 90s, 70s even, where all they talk about is symptoms and tests and, well, my doctor said, what doctor do you have? And what's he say? Oh, yeah, well, why don't you try you should try castor oil with soursop tablets. And maybe you should put some heating pad. Like, you don't want to be stuck in that cycle, when you can do something about it at a younger age, right? We can do something about it. So we can have those years of thriving health and not be stuck in this cycle. So here, I'll finish my... Here, I got the list right here. So, right? So we'll go over this. So first things first, stop talking about symptoms. And then after you've learned to stop talking about symptoms, put some notes up. Just go stop, right? Even put it like a little circle. I used to write on my hands for a reminder. Here's my, right? I used to write on my hand for reminders too. Just because sometimes Post-it notes won't, if you have Post-it notes in your car and you go somewhere else, those Post-it notes aren't there. So do this. Down. You'll know what that means, right? Or put it in a spot where somebody else can't see it. Because if your mom goes, what does that mean? Edmund, what are you doing? What is a new compulsion problem? What are you doing that? Right? So have it go, oh, that's a reminder. I got to buy, I shouldn't be, make up a fucking thing, prepare ahead, because people are going to fucking ask you. It's going to open up a can of worms, and, right? You're going to have a bit of resistance. Because, if when my mom used to come in my car and they see all these Post-it notes everywhere, because I needed them. I needed Post-it notes to stay on my path, because I was fucking determined, I was fucking disciplined. And I was not going to fail. Well, I failed all the time, but I was not going to not stick to the program, right? I was sticking to my routines, doing my staying on my path to recovery, and I did. And thanks, Post-it notes were a beautiful, beautiful thing. And, but for others that don't understand, or don't believe you, or blah, 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 or whatever it is, or think that their ideas are better, or want to give you doubt, it can be sometimes things that you have to hide. Right? Like, not many people would go in my car except for my senior dog and my daughter. And my daughter, was my daughter. For her, she didn't even see them. She didn't really care. So, but, like, your mom could see it if you're driving her to the store, or a friend, or whatever. And then they could be like, dude, why do you got all these Post-it notes there? What's going on with you, man? Like, dude, that's not the right way to do it. That's no, you gotta, no, trust me, man. No, I'm just here to help you, man. Dude, you gotta stop, right? Doubt. Sabotaging your progress. Your mom gets triggered because she's worried. Well, why is he putting these notes up everywhere? Is he not improving? I thought he was doing so well. What's happening? And then they ruminate and they put that on you, right? And then you're fucking like, just leave me alone. I'm fucking, don't worry, I'm on track. And then why are you doing this? What is this? Why are you doing it? Right? So, I know what it's like. There's a lot of fucking obstacles along the way. This is a journey. This is the recovery journey. This is what you got to deal with. Anyway, so you got to pivot. You got to figure it out. That's your thing. Take what I tell you and try to implement it into your life the best you can, right? So you put the 0 there. Don't talk about symptoms. Stop it. Right? You can be honest with your mom and go, you know, I got tired of talking about symptoms, so I put this here. And you know what? This reminds me, actually, you could help me, right? You can go, don't ask me how I'm feeling. Because it just opens up for me to talk about symptoms. And for me to move on in my life, I got to talk about, and then 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, yes, good idea. I will help you. No, talk about symptoms. You can do other things. You can live your life, right? So, you got to find a way to manipulate them and have them join your team to help you support and go out and ask them to do you a favor. Can you help me with something? Can you blah, 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 and make sure that blah, 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 blah? Yes, okay, no problem. I will do it for you. Yeah, no problem. Right? So, that's what I did. I'm like, don't ask me how I'm feeling. Let's just talk about happy things. Okay? Okay, I will do that. Right? They want to help you. And it makes them feel reassured that, hey, he's okay. No problem. So anyway, let's get back to the list. Focusing on pain. Right? I know it's one of those things where in the beginning, you're going to focus on pain. You're going to have flash fear. You can't, especially if it's a new symptom, your brain is going to go to it. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to get your attention to perceive danger because there's danger all around. So it needs you to focus on an alarm. That's what alarms are there for, right? So you gotta experience your symptoms, and in time, you become indifferent to them, because you're going to allow the symptoms to be there. The thoughts that associate with the symptoms that go catastrophized, check this out, oh my God, you got to go to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, when you allow those thoughts to be there, you engage. So allow, engage, bring the thoughts with you. Eventually, you won't focus on the pain as much. You'll be indifferent to it, right? Body checking. I did a video about body checking. Anyway, so body checking, I did a lot of that. And I had like my main body checking was my gut, pains in my gut, temperatures, thermometer, blood pressure, you name it. So I had to stop. I had to stop because it just kept bringing my baseline up in a survival state. So you got to stop body checking. You got to stop it. Scanning your environment for danger, right? What else? Fortune telling, future, what ifs, catastrophizing, massive, right? That comes in time. Eventually, you learn how to do it, right? You experience your symptoms. You don't go down rabbit holes. You get off these Facebook groups. You don't catastrophize yourself with catastrophizing. Don't sabotage your process by, repeating behavior patterns that will just keep you stuck in that programming of everything is becoming a massive danger. And by Googling and body check and all these things, they keep that program running, and you want to stop it. So eventually, in time, the catastrophizing will calm down, and you're going to stop doing it. And yeah, make sure you don't Google nothing. Procrastination, indecisiveness. That was me. At that time, I could, this is why I had to schedule out my week ahead of time and just do it and just pick a fucking thing and stick with it. Because I used to schedule out my day, and even when I had my week scheduled, I would still do another schedule for my day, just because I liked doing that. But I found that it was really hard to make a choice. I was like, okay, well, I'll do my visuals here, then I'll go to, walk the dog, but then maybe I should go, well, which park should I go? Well, if I go to this park, well, but I would be for 1 hour being indecisive about getting my day going, right? And it's just a waste of time. So what I figured out was, pick anything, do it. Even if it's the wrong thing, do it anyway, and you can always adjust later when you're on the path. You can always go, you know, I'm not feeling this, we're doing this now. All right, boom. And there's so many times where I'd be driving and I'd be turning, you know, totally the opposite way and going further, wasting gas and everything, but it doesn't matter. I stuck with the choice. You can always adjust accordingly later. So just pick something and do it, right? You can always change it later. So catching old behavior patterns, that's something that you'll do along the way. You'll know what it is. Something that doesn't, you know, if it's something that doesn't support your recovery journey, then you know what to do, right? Then you know that, well, you know, be aware of it and do something about it. Also, rushing. When you rush, usually rushing is a survival mechanism because you are too busy with catastrophizing or looping on your thoughts, and you'd rather put attention to try to figure it out, try to fix, try to analyze. So then when you're forced to do something at home, like cooking or because you got to eat, you're like, fuck, let's get this over with. Fuck the seasoning. Let's just put it in the oven. Fucking, okay, if I put it in the oven, then I can concentrate on Googling and trying to figure this out. Oh my God. And oh man, this is going to take me forever to get this done. I want to hurry up and eat so I can get back to it, right? So what you have to do is actually slow down, right? And your brain's going, dude, we got to solve this riddle. Dude, we don't have time for this. And you go, you know what? Allow the thoughts to be, let them be there. Bring them with you while you're doing the cooking, while you're making the steak, while you're seasoning the steak, while you're, you know what? Let's add some more vegetables in. Let's take the time to really sear it really good and really, you know, stretch it out. Go slow. Be like a turtle, right? Because being a turtle to perceive danger shows a message of safety. Because if it was a real danger, you'd be moving your ass, right? You'd be fleeing. Telling the same story. So watch what story you're telling. If you're constantly repeating, you know, symptom talk, going, yeah, but I feel like, yeah, but the yabba dabba doos, right? Be aware of it, but really stop talking about it. Negative thinking. So if you know, put an alarm on your phone to check up on you every half hour or 2 hours, and at that time when it rings, go, what am I thinking about? Am I thinking about negative shit? Am I ruminating? Am I resisting? You know, if you are, be aware of it and stop it, right? Allow it to finish off whatever it needs to finish off. Allow it to do its thing, but then engage. Symptom talk, I feel, yeah, but, yep, covered that already. Needing to be in control of everything, right? Surrender, let it go. Whatever happens, happens. Let's be a curious observer. Let's see what happens, right? I want this horrible thought, right? It's saying this is going to happen. You're going to go to the hospital. You're going to have this XYZ disease. Let's see if that happens. I'm curious to see. I want it to happen. I want it to happen today, tomorrow, the next day. Ask for more. Give me more of that. Needing to be perfectionism, right? The same thing. People pleaser. It's okay to say no and tell people the reason why and be truthful and stand on your ground, right? Put your foot down and stop being a people pleaser, because you're just going to, what happens, this is what I've noticed, when you're a people pleaser and you don't get to say what's on your mind, you get resentful and angry and it builds up, right? You're like, no, it's okay, no problem. And then later on, a fucking asshole. Yeah, if you really knew how I felt, like this is, then you ruminate on it. Baseline goes up. You fucking get angry about it. It just fuels the fire constantly. And then you're constantly on a, rumbling fire throughout the day. And then anything small can fucking get your mood going, right? And that brings your baseline up, which reaffirms the alarms. You get more alarms, more triggers, more things that piss you off. And then you ruminate on that. And it's just an endless cycle, right? So people pleasing, it's better to say what's on your mind, get it out, get uncomfortable, right? There's going to be awkward moments where you say no. It's easier to deal with these awkward moments that are short term than to bring them along with you and pull 747 loads, right? And anger and resentment because you didn't release that shit by saying what's on your mind. That's a whole, you know what? That's a totally different video altogether. Being a reassurance junkie. That's huge. So I needed reassurance a lot, all the time. I needed it, but eventually I had to stop myself because it became, because when you seek for reassurance, what are you seeking reassurance from? What? Danger. So you're just sending the response that yes, we're in danger, Send me a sign of safety. I got to look for safety. Okay, so the brain's like, look for safety and there's danger. Look for safety. We got to get some answers or we're going to have to go and find a result to defend ourselves from this tiger. So you're constantly going, we're all clear, no tiger here. And the brain's like, okay, good. Is it over there? Let me go check. All clear. How about over there? It's all clear. Check again. It's all clear. Check again. I just said it's all clear. So there comes a point where you can have all the reassurance in the world, but eventually that alarm will go on again because you're just reaffirming that, yes, there is danger. So it's a cycle. So the content of the thought is irrelevant. You have to get uncomfortable and just be okay with the fact that it's not resolved, which is hard because it's like a magnet. And when you're constantly looking for reassurance, right, it can be an addiction. So for me, I had reassurance in ways of certain videos that I would replay, and I used them whenever I needed to get me across the bridge. And that's okay. So you got to find a sweet spot with reassurance. You're going to have times where you need it just to get you over the bridge. Use it, but don't make it a thing where you're messaging people constantly for reassurance or needing to Google for reassurance and, you know, things slap you in the face and you end up finding some information that you don't want, and then it hijacks your thoughts and then you go down rabbit holes. So you have to learn not to always have the answers, to allow it to be there, to sit in the discomfort of it and not look for so much reassurance, because it's just going to backfire and it's just going to tell the brain that we need reassurance from what? Danger. So reassurance junkie, exactly. Trying to fix, trying to figure out, trying to analyze. You got to stop doing that. Analyzing, figuring out, ruminating, addictive behaviors, crutches, right? Coping mechanisms. In the beginning, we need our coping mechanisms just so that we have a platform, so we have a sense of organization, so we can start doing the program, right? My alarm system reset program. So, if that means you got to take some coping mechanisms, use them. They're only temporary. Eventually, you'll slowly release them, and you won't need them anymore. But in the beginning, if you need them, use them. It's okay. It's only temporary. You don't have to feel so badly about that. Because what's the point of, when you don't have them and then you're overwhelmed? You can't do anything with that. If you're too overwhelmed, you're not getting anything, and you're not focusing on your journey, you won't get anywhere. So if you need certain devices and tools and things that keep you on track, use them. Compulsions, you got to stop compulsions if possible. Obsessing about fear, living by your feelings, right? When you're in a survival state, you're going to have feelings that are smokes and mirrors, but these feelings create a reality that isn't really true. You're not your feelings, right? And it creates a reality that you believe because it's in a survival state, but it's not true. So you have to see the pattern and don't live by your feelings. Negative self-dialogue, micromanaging all your symptoms, right? When we recover and our baseline comes down and our bucket gets empty, your body knows what to do. Your brain knows how to rewire. You don't have to be constantly talking about neuroplasticity and pathways, and we got to create pathways and the old neural pathways and blah, 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 blah. The brain knows what to do. Leave it alone. Live life. Engage in life. Elevate, vibrate higher. Playtime, fun time. Focus on that. Do your visuals. Allow and engage. And the brain knows how to create neural pathways. Also, with micromanaging all of the symptoms and your gut issues and, right, XYZ, they will all recalibrate as a consequence of your baseline and bucket being empty and alarms turning off. Your liver knows how to do its job. Your gut biome knows how to balance itself out. It knows what to do. All it needs is you to support it by bringing the baseline down so it has a chance to finally do its work, right? You don't need to micromanage. So, feeling special. You're not a special case. The only thing that makes you special is your personality, right? How you got here, your story, right? And, your interests in life, your personality. If you're a good person, if you want to help people, and that makes you unique. Your soul, your spirit, that makes you unique. Other than that, physically, you're not special. You don't have a special gene defect that makes you, your mitochondria this, right? You're not a special case. You can recover just like anybody else. Being stuck in the past of your story, right? Yeah, but what happened was when I was, well, the thing is when we were stuck, I got sick. And that's why, well, I'm injured, right? I'm traumatized. Well, the injury. So right away when people talk about injury, they're damaged, right? Because of whatever they were dealt with, medications, blah, 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 right? Right away, you got to stop saying that because you're not injured. You're not damaged. Don't believe what you've been reading in these Facebook groups because that will not help your, journey. We can recover. We can recover from anything physically. So don't buy into all the bullshit that you're reading because when you believe something, it becomes your reality. If you believe it, then so be it. Comparing yourself to others. For me, it's depends. Comparing myself to others, because they're recovering quicker pissed me off, right? It put a lot of pressure on me, but it also made me feel like, okay, I got to bring it up a notch. I got to take this serious. And I was taking it serious, but I was a bit hard on myself. And, that might bring up your baseline a bit, but you know what? Being hard on myself got me where I needed to be. So, comparing yourself to others, only if it accelerates your recovery by doing the work. Don't worry too much about what other people are doing because you don't really know what they're going through and they don't know what you're going through. Everything is a unique that way, right? The journey of how you learn, your learning process, your learning curve, all that stuff is different. You might absorb stuff deeper because it took you longer and you gain more golden nuggets out of it than the other person that recovered quicker. So don't compare, trust me, because I've been down that road before and it means nothing. Don't worry about it. But also use it into your advantage, but going, I should be at this level right now. I got to be hard on myself. I got to make sure that I walk another kilometer. I got to make sure I do another 10 minutes visuals here that I missed. Blah, 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 blah. You can use it in a positive way by keeping yourself more accountable to stick on the path and making sure that, you're doing everything the best of your ability. So overanalyzing, don't overanalyze. Don't try to figure out everything. Don't ruminate on everything. Negative thinking patterns, you'll find out what they are. And when you deal with them, let them go and stop doing that. That's the only way to do it. You just got to stop. And stop talking about symptoms. Please, just stop it. Because it's not going to help you.